I hope y'all have had so much fun creating false narratives about me for clickbait because I'm about to have so much fun suing y'all. There's some rumors going around that they ain't together no more. The rumor is that she broke up with him because he was too nice.
Apparently, Damson Idris is too nice. Lori Harvey said, hell no, I need some chaos in my life. Yeah, I need Franklin Saint, not Damson Idris, you get me? Well, it's a rumor at the moment. Apparently, they've broken up.
Just remember that you're the prize always.
Say that one more time.
Just remember that you are the prize.
Lori Harvey moves like a global brand, not just a person. Her whole image is built on beauty, elite access, and always looking untouchable, like nothing can shake her. But here's the twist. Another big part of her image is playing the dating game the same way powerful men do. No hesitation, no apologies. And people really saw that unfold in June 2022, when Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey suddenly ended their relationship, and it caught everyone off guard. Then it got even messier. Just one day after the breakup, Michael B. Jordan shows up at the Celtics vs. Warriors game in San Francisco, and the cameras catch him staring off, looking completely heartbroken. That moment spread everywhere, and people online couldn't stop talking about it. He basically turned into a meme overnight, and not in a flattering way. Before the month even cooled off, Lori posted a cryptic message on Twitter that said, "Dump him," and that had people connecting dots fast. Then in January 2023, the Shade Room reported that Damson Iris and Lori Harvey went Instagram official. At that point, it became clear Lori was moving how she wanted, and nobody could stop it. That's right, the message was loud and clear. If it's not working for me, I'm out, because I am the prize. And that mindset really started to catch on, especially among women in minority communities who were watching closely. It became this bold energy of saying, if Lori Harvey can move how she wants and not settle, then why can't I do the same thing too? Then things took another turn later that year. Lori Harvey and Damson Iris came out and announced they had split up. And once again, she kept it moving like it was nothing. No drama, no backtracking, just a clean break and on to the next chapter.
And what does that mean for you in relationships when you're like, I'm the prize? What does that mean?
It just means not compromising like my values, my happiness, my peace, not settling for less than what I know I deserve, and not being afraid to walk away from a situation if it's like no longer serving me.
That's when people really locked in on her pattern. Lori Harvey does not spin the block. Once she's done, and there's no second chances waiting around. We never saw Michael B. Jordan circle back, and her past with Future stayed in the past too. But interestingly, Michael B. Jordan still had his own moment, showing up strong and winning at the Oscars just last month, proving he bounced back in his own way. Now here's where things start to look real confusing. In that same month of March, Lori Harvey and Damson Iris were spotted together again, hanging out and even getting close like they were back to being that power couple everyone talked about. It had people wondering, wait, are they really back like that? So now the conversation flipped. Suddenly, Damson Iris looked like the one who could spin the block, even though nobody else ever got that chance with Lori. And people started comparing. Yes, Damson is a successful actor, no doubt, but many were quick to point out he's not on the same level as Michael B. Jordan, and that added even more tension to the situation. Then April came with even more drama. Damson Iris was seen spending time with model Ari, and that raised eyebrows fast. People were asking, what is going on here, especially after he was just seen getting close with Lori not too long ago. Now rumors are flying all over the place, with some claiming he got dumped and that it might be because he was too nice, which only made the situation even messier.
I love me some Lori Harvey. Well, baby, ain't nobody talking about you. Look, Lori Harvey threatened to sue the blog, said, all the false narrative that you talking about, I'm gonna sue you. Lori, I think the issue is, ain't nobody talking about you. And I think you ain't used to that, right? And that's the true issue. That's the true issue. Everybody used to talk about you. How you used to run through men. You used to be the mafia or the queen mafia that running through men.
And of course, this situation clearly struck a nerve with Lori Harvey. She came out strong and said, I hope y'all have so much fun creating false narratives about me for clickbait, because I'm about to have so much fun suing y'all. That right there wasn't subtle at all. It sounded like a direct warning to anyone pushing stories she believes aren't true. So now people are trying to figure out what she meant exactly. Is she saying that her and Damson Idris were never back together, or that she didn't get dumped? Or maybe the whole storyline being pushed online is just completely off. There's a lot of questions, but one thing people did see for themselves, Damson was definitely spotted spending time with that model, and that caught attention fast. Now, let's be real. People started making assumptions immediately. The model he was seen with has a similar vibe, tall, slim, and very striking. So the comparisons started rolling in right away, and folks online didn't hold back with their opinions about what that might mean. But here's where it gets interesting. Some are saying Lori's reaction feels different this time, because in the past, she stayed quiet while people claimed she was the one ending relationships left and right. Now, suddenly, she's speaking up and pushing back hard, and that shift has people paying very close attention. Now, here's another layer to all of this. When Lori Harvey split from Michael B. Jordan, she didn't exactly stay quiet. She leaned into the moment with that cryptic "dump 'em" post, and people ran with it fast. At the time, there wasn't much pushback, even though some felt like it came off a little disrespectful toward him. And this opens up a bigger conversation that people keep bringing up. There's this idea floating around that women, especially high-profile ones, can throw subtle jabs or move a certain way after a breakup, and it gets framed as confidence or control over their life. Meanwhile, the guy on the other side often stays silent because speaking out could backfire on him big time. Take situations people compare it to, like when relationships end publicly and one side is more vocal than the other. The man involved might avoid responding at all because if he does, he risks being labeled negatively or misunderstood, and that can damage his image fast. So what ends up happening is one side controls the narrative while the other just stays quiet and moves on. And when you look back at Lori's past situations, that pattern is exactly what has people debating now, especially with everything currently unfolding. And this ties right back to the same pattern people keep pointing out. When Lori Harvey posted that message after the Michael B. Jordan breakup, it wasn't random. People connected it directly to the timing and saw it as her signaling that she made the decision to walk away. Everything lined up too neatly for folks not to draw that conclusion.
Lori Harvey posted this picture on her Instagram. She said, I hope y'all have had so much fun creating false narratives about me for clickbait because I'm about to have so much fun suing y'all. What she's referring to is headlines like this. It says, Lori Harvey has ended her relationship with Damson Idris because he was too nice. And people keep commenting stuff like, no one suffers more than a man who has pure intentions for a woman.
But now, the energy feels different. People are looking at what's happening with Damson Idris and saying, wait a minute, you were just seen together at Paris Fashion Week. Everything looked good, and now suddenly it's over? So naturally, people are going to speculate whether she left him or he left her, because that's how these public situations usually play out. And that's where the tension kicks in. On one side, you've got visible moments and public appearances that fuel these conversations. And on the other side, Lori is pushing back hard against what she calls false narratives, even hinting at legal action. That contrast has people talking even more. There was even a commentator who summed it up in a way that really stuck with viewers. The core idea is this: Lori Harvey has built an image of being untouchable, like nothing can shake her or put a dent in her reputation. And that's exactly why moments like this grab so much attention. For the longest time, Lori Harvey has been seen as untouchable, almost invincible, like nothing could ever shake her image. But now, people are starting to say the opposite, that maybe there are cracks showing, and the perfect image isn't as solid as it once looked. And instead of ignoring the noise, Lori is coming out strong, warning people about spreading stories she believes aren't true. But here's the thing, once the internet locks on to a narrative, it's hard to slow it down. Even if one person gets called out, the conversation keeps moving because so many voices are involved and everyone has an opinion they want to share. At the same time, there's a bigger picture that people are bringing into this discussion. Public figures often go through phases where their image feels unstoppable, but over time, attention shifts and new conversations take over. You see it happen in different industries, whether it's athletes, entertainers, or influencers. The spotlight doesn't stay the same forever. Now, people are questioning whether Lori's dominance in the dating conversation is starting to change. With Damson Idris being seen moving on and living his life, it's added a new angle that has people talking even more. The narrative is shifting, And suddenly, the idea that no one could replace Lori Harvey is being challenged in a very public way. And then people started bringing Michael Jordan into the conversation again. The way some see it, his journey shows that even after a high-profile breakup, you can still level up and move forward in a big way. Meanwhile, Lori Harvey has kept a similar lifestyle and image since that 2022 era, which has people comparing both paths closely.
I see a lot of articles running with the story that she broke up with Damson Idris because he was too nice. But the thing is, like, people are going to continue to believe it unless you or Damson comes out and says otherwise, which is, I mean, you guys haven't really done that so far. And it would be an easy thing to believe because Damson Idris is notoriously like a really nice guy, and girls famously don't like to date nice guys. Girls like to say that they want a nice guy, but like they don't actually date nice guys.
This ties into a broader mindset that gets talked about a lot online. The idea is that some men choose to step away, focus on growth, build themselves up, and then come back stronger than before. There's even content out there discussing this exact pattern, how stepping back, staying disciplined, and working on your goals can completely change your position in life.
And here's where the conversation gets more intense. Some believe that while one person is focused on leveling up, the other might still be moving the same way, thinking everything is fine. But over time, momentum starts to separate the two, and that's when the shift becomes obvious. At the end of the day, people keep coming back to this idea of leverage. It's not just about looks or attention, it's about growth, opportunities, and the kind of impact you're building over time. And according to this perspective, if someone stays locked in and keeps improving, their position can rise higher than where they once were, even after being left behind. But here's the argument people keep making. Over time, 4 or 5 years down the line, someone who focuses on growth can end up in a completely different position, with more influence, more options, and a stronger image overall. Meanwhile, the other side might be dealing with situations that don't carry the same weight, and that contrast starts to stand out more and more. And that's where things get uncomfortable. When someone builds their whole image around being untouchable or above everyone else, the last thing they want is for people to see them as regular, like anyone else. But the reality is, public perception can shift fast, and once people start questioning that image, it's hard to fully control the narrative again. Now, some voices online are taking it even further, saying this moment is proof that no one is truly invincible in the dating spotlight. Trends change, attention moves, and new faces always enter the picture. Even people who still look great and carry themselves well can find that the spotlight isn't as fixed as it once was. At the core of it, this whole conversation is about how quickly things can evolve. What looks permanent today can shift tomorrow. And that's why moments like this have everyone watching so closely and reacting in real time.
Well, it's a rumor at the moment. Apparently they've broken up again. I'm like, Damson, bro, come on, bro. I mean, with all due respect, this lady right here, she's dated so many people, high-profile people, bro. Why would you say, you know what, yeah, I need that one. I need a piece of that one. I'm pretty sure your mama is telling you, nah, bro, nah. My son, we don't want that, no.
And now the conversation is hitting a whole new level. People aren't just watching what Lori Harvey does anymore. They're watching how the public reacts to her in real time. That shift right there is major because it means the control over the narrative isn't as tight as it used to be. What's really standing out is how fast opinions are changing. One minute, she's being praised for moving how she wants with no limits, and the next, people are questioning every move, every sighting, every rumor that pops up. That kind of spotlight can flip quick, and once it does, it's hard to get everyone back on the same page again. At the same time, there's a bigger lesson people are pulling from all of this. Being seen as that person in the dating scene or social space doesn't last forever unless it evolves. If the image stays the same while everything else around it changes, eventually people start looking at it differently. And that's exactly what seems to be happening here. Now the focus is less about who she's dating and more about what this all means for her overall image moving forward. Because once the conversation shifts from admiration to analysis, things don't feel the same anymore. And right now, that shift is happening in real time.
And now you're starting to see something even more interesting happen. The focus is slowly shifting away from just Lori Harvey's relationships and moving toward how influence really works
works in the public eye. Because at this level, it's not just about who you're with, it's about how every move shapes your image over time. What's catching attention now is how quickly narratives can flip depending on timing and visibility. When things look smooth and controlled, the image stays strong. But the moment different clips, photos, or rumors start stacking up back to back, people begin connecting dots, even if they don't have the full story. That momentum can build fast, and once it does, it takes on a life of its own. And this is where strategy starts to matter more than ever. Staying silent, speaking out, posting or not posting, every choice gets analyzed heavily. One move can calm things down, but another can spark even more questions, and that balance is tough to manage when millions of eyes are watching every detail. So now, the real question people are asking isn't just about who Lori Harvey is dating next, it's about whether she can reshape the narrative again and keep that strong presence she's known for.
Michael B. Jordan broke up with me all because of Chadwick Boseman. That is why Michael is still unmarried at 39. When he won the Oscar for Best Actor, I sent him my congratulations, but he did not reply. I can understand. After all, we have been broken up for 4 years.
Because once the conversation evolves like this, maintaining that same level of influence takes a whole different kind of approach. And now, things are reaching a point where timing is everything. The next moves Lori Harvey makes are gonna carry way more weight than before, because people are watching for patterns, not just moments. Every appearance, every post, every connection, nothing is being looked at casually anymore. What's really turning heads is how fast the internet builds a storyline and then sticks to it. Even if new details come out later, that first impression tends to shape how everything else is viewed. So if the narrative right now is shifting, it's going to take something very intentional to redirect it. And that's not easy when the spotlight is this intense. At the same time, there's pressure that comes with maintaining a certain image for so long. When you've been seen as someone who always stays ahead, people expect consistency. And the second that consistency looks shaky, the reactions get louder and more critical. Now the situation feels less like a simple dating update and more like a test of longevity. Can the same formula that worked before still hold up under this level of scrutiny? Or does it need to evolve into something new? Because one thing is clear, the audience isn't just watching anymore. They're evaluating every move, and that changes the entire game. And now the spotlight is shifting one more time. It's no longer just about Lori Harvey's choices. It's about how long any public figure can stay at the top of a conversation like this without switching things up. Because attention moves fast, and once people feel like they've figured you out, the excitement starts to fade.
What's really getting people talking now is the idea of reinvention. Every major figure who stays relevant for a long time finds a way to evolve their image before the audience gets bored or too critical. And right now, people are watching closely to see if Lori makes that kind of move or keeps playing it the same way she always has. At the same time, the comparisons aren't slowing down either. Every news sighting, every rumored connection, every public moment gets stacked against her past, and that creates a constant cycle of judgment that's hard to escape. And once that cycle starts, it feeds itself over and over again. So now, the pressure isn't just about maintaining an image, it's about transforming it at the right time, because staying still in a fast-moving spotlight can start to feel like falling behind, even if nothing major has actually changed. And that's where things stand right now. People aren't just reacting anymore. They're waiting to see what the next move is and whether it shifts the whole narrative again or pushes it even further in the direction it's already going. And now everything comes down to the next phase, because once the conversation reaches this point, it's not just about reacting anymore. It's about making a move that resets the entire tone. Right now, people feel like they're watching the story unfold in real time, and that kind of attention can either fade out or explode even bigger, depending on what happens next. What's really interesting is how quickly the audience shifts from judging to anticipating. At first, it's all opinions and debates, but then it turns into curiosity. People start asking, what's the next play? What's the next headline? What's going to change the direction of this story? That curiosity can actually be powerful if it's handled the right way. At the same time, staying unpredictable might be the only real advantage left. When people think they know your pattern, breaking it is what grabs attention again and flips the energy back in your favor. But if things keep moving in a way that feels expected, the reactions start to lose intensity and the narrative locks in even deeper. So right now, everything feels like it's on edge. One move could quiet everything down, or one move could take this to a whole new level of attention. And that's why all eyes are still locked in, waiting to see if the next step changes everything or confirms everything people already think they see. And now is reaching that moment where perception can either reset or stick for a long time. Because once people settle on a narrative, it doesn't just disappear, it lingers, and every new move gets filtered through that same lens. That's exactly where things are heading right now. What's really standing out is how the conversation has shifted from hype to scrutiny. Before, it was all about admiration and curiosity, but now it feels more like people are analyzing patterns, questioning decisions, and trying to predict what comes next. That kind of attention hits different because it's not passive, it's active and constant.
Right? You on songs and everybody talking about you and the lyrics and stuff like that. Now nobody talking about you. Now you want them to talk about you. I think that's this. Be honest with yourself, baby. You want to be talked about. And right now, ain't nobody said a word about you. Honestly, I ain't hear nobody say a word about you in forever. You may have just fell off and you want to get the people going again. So I'm finna sue you. Sue them on what, baby? They ain't saying nothing about you.
At the same time, there's a reality that comes with being in this position. When your image has been built on control and confidence, any moment that looks uncertain gets amplified way more than it normally would. And once that amplification starts, it creates pressure to respond, adjust, or completely switch direction. Now the situation feels like it's balancing on timing and execution. Move too fast and it can look reactive. Move too slow and people assume the narrative is accurate. That middle ground is hard to hit, especially when everything is being watched this closely. So right now, it's not just about what happens next, it's about how it happens. Because the delivery, the timing, and the energy behind the next move could either shift the entire conversation or lock it in even deeper than before. And now it's hitting the stage where every small detail starts to matter more than ever. Because when a story reaches this level, it's not just the big moments people focus on, it's the subtle moves, the timing of appearances, even what's not being said that gets picked apart. What's really shifting is the way people are interpreting silence versus action. If nothing is said, it gets read one way. If something is said, it gets flipped another way. That kind of environment makes it almost impossible to move without sparking some kind of reaction. And that's exactly why the pressure keeps building. At the same time, the audience isn't just reacting emotionally anymore. They're watching strategically. People are comparing past behavior, current moves, and possible next steps like they're putting together a full picture. And once that level of attention kicks in, it's hard to go back to how things were before. Now it's less about one situation and more about long-term positioning. How this moment is handled could influence how future moves are received, and that's why every decision feels amplified. One strong shift could rewrite the narrative, but one misstep could keep the same storyline running even longer. So right now, everything feels calculated, watched, and ready to shift at any second. And that's why the next move isn't just important, it might be the one that defines how this entire phase is remembered. And this is where everything really comes full circle. Because once that image starts to take a hit, even just a little, it changes how people see you completely. You go from being untouchable to someone who can actually be figured out. And once that first loss shows up in the public eye, it doesn't just stop there. People start watching closer, analyzing harder, and suddenly it feels like the mystery is gone. Then it stacks up. One situation turns into another, and before you know it, the same audience that once hyped everything up is now breaking it all down step by step. That's when the shift really happens. You're no longer seen as that unstoppable force, but as someone navigating the same ups and downs as everyone else. But here's the real part. Nobody stays on top forever without evolving. Life doesn't work like that, and public attention definitely doesn't either. At some point, everybody has to adjust, switch things up, and move differently if they want to stay in that same conversation. And that's exactly where things stand right now. So what do you think? Is this just a moment, or is this a real shift happening in real time? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this, because this conversation is only getting bigger.